Riz won an Oscar, won an Emmy, did a movie with Kate Hudson as his love interest, and I cover Donald Trump for a living.
Both got blonde love interests, I guess, at different points in our career.
You are in Bait. The show is about an actor who might be cast as the first brown Bond. How realistic is that?
That there'd be a brown James Bond.
Jeff Bezos, if you're watching.
I think it kind of speaks to the power of comedy, man. Of like, you can say the unsayable. You can bypass people's prejudices up here and just go to the gut. This guy's a shoplifter. And I go, dude, I'm not shoplifting. I'm in Star Wars.
Don't know if you saw the recent Berlin Film Festival where a bunch of actors kept getting asked about Gaza and they kept dodging it. Keanu Reeves in The Matrix dodging. And Neil Patrick Harris said something that jumped out to me. I've always believed art should be apolitical. What's your response to that?
Of course there are repercussions, but being afraid of being blacklisted is kind of funny when you realize, like, you might be singled out and be blacklisted, right? But we're kind of already blacklisted just through unconscious bias.
In the UK right now, how bad is it with reform and Farage and the rise of kind of very similar Trumpy movements in the UK?
Are you here representing the disapproving aunties? I knew this was... I was worried when she said, I'm an investigative journalist from Pakistan. That's when I started shitting myself. I didn't see this curveball coming, man.
You're now in Hamlet.
To be or not to be is probably the most famous line of dialogue ever written, right? He's literally asking, should we resist? Should we fight back against oppression? I'm not talking about armed resistance. Shakespeare is.
I am Mehdi Hassan. You had one line.
Oh,
you have an Oscar.
Good.
One line to deliver.
Sorry. Oh, I'm Riz Ahmed.
And we are not kidding. Live show in New York. Riz, last time we taped this show, last time we did a We're Not Kidding, it was summer of 2024. We were in London. Now we're in New York. Do you love New York?
I love it. I love it. I feel like New York and London are more similar to each other than they are to any other cities in their own countries, right? And for years, I would play this game like London with New York. But London has this, but New York has this. And, New York stinks. It actually literally physically stinks and there's rats everywhere, but a lot of people cheering the rats and the stinking. But London doesn't have a Manhattan, doesn't have that kind of crazy chocolate block. And I'll play this game for a long time, but I just really value coming here. I've lived here for 2 long stints. I met my wife here.
Okay. Well, that's a good reason to love a city.
And can I tell you, I think that's the kind of thing that can only happen in New York. You have those kind of collisions, just because that density of people. You just be walking down the street on a Tuesday, bump into like 10 friends and you're out for dinner. With 10 people. And it's that kind of place. So I love the energy here. It's very special. And
but you still love London. You live in London.
Yeah. I live in London.
You and I grew up in North London.
I live in Sadikistan.
Sadikistan.
And you guys live in Zoranistan, right?
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I live in Trumplandia. I live in DC. I don't get to live in a place run by a Muslim man.
That would be a cool theme park, though, Trumplandia.
No, it wouldn't.
You don't think?
No.
Okay.
It would be horrible.
Yeah, it would.
We both grew up, Riz and I both grew up in North London. We went to school together. We acted in the school play together.
He was much older than me.
Much older.
At school.
Much older.
You heard a few
like
people going, oh, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Years.
It was 3.5 years. 3.5 years older than me.
Years.
He was 5 years older than me at school.
I got held back many years, obviously. We went to school together. We acted in the school play together. We won acting awards together. We went to Oxford after Merchant Taylors. And then our paths diverged. Riz won an Oscar, won an Emmy, did a movie with Kate Hudson as his love interest. And I cover Donald Trump for a living. I think it's fair to say we went in different directions.
We both got blonde love interests, I guess, at different points in our career, haven't we? There's a thin line between love and hate. Part of you secretly, is there like a love-hate thing with Donald?
Talking of love and hate.
Yeah.
You have been in a Bourne movie, a Marvel movie, right? A Star Wars movie. You're now in Hamlet, and you're playing an actor who was going to be cast as Bond. Do you realize that you're letting down all of the rest of us brown men who have not achieved any of that? Do you understand that people love you, but they might also hate you?
I think that's what's special about our community. Isn't it? It's just that.
Do you worry about
There's
evil eye?
There's a reason
evil
why
eye?
we're so obsessed with the evil eye.
Yeah, do you take out sadqa?
Because it's real.
Did you take out sadqa before you were in Bait and Hamlet? You take out sadqa?
Bro, I beg you, go online and quickly take out Sadka for me right now. I brought a couple of friends here from here, just so they could, like, within spitting distance.
Mehdi's evil-eyeing Riz.
Yeah, just, I've got some spitters here for me. Yeah, man. It's right, it's all love, until it isn't.
No, but mashallah, you're
But
doing great. I think it's fair to say.
What do you think?
Did
Can I
you
just
imagine?
can I ask, what is your feeling and theory around the evil eye? Like, do you have a view on it? Like,
I am a skeptic, but through my wife and mother, I've been forced to come around.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you,
there is a lot
do you
of
make
jealousy
some
in our
noise
community.
if you believe in the literal evil eye?
I love people who are whooping.
Yes,
Evil eye.
it's
Woo!
so-
Evil eye! Woo! That's not a good thing.
This is what's wrong with our people. We're just cheering for the evil. There's
The
more
love-
cheering for the evil eye than there was for Zeteo subscriptions. Do you understand? That's what's happening here. I didn't mean that as a diss. I just meant evil eye is
it's
very
true, it's
popular
true.
amongst our people. But see, I've got a theory on it. I've got a take on the evil eye, right? Is the evil eye exists insofar as it is the evil eye, they're the two eyes in your own head. In that when you focus on the hate, when you focus on the criticism, when you give energy to those who, to that voice, whether it's a critical inner
Yeah.
voice, like a decapitated pig's head voiced by Patrick Stewart,
Yes.
or from the laughter, I know there's only 3 people here who've seen Bait. You've already got Prime Video, bro. You've got Prime. It comes with the thing.
You have to pay for it. It's free
just
for the brown
watch
people.
it, like, so when you give that energy, you're giving, I don't know, it's just whatever you give your attention, you're
Yeah.
giving energy to,
So-
whether you call it manifesting or whatever, it's like self-fulfilling. So I think like we bring about our own downfall in a way by giving energy and attention to the negative.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't be replying to all my hate.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I knew that's where
you
you
saw
were
where
going.
I was going, innit?
Every time I sit down with you or Hassan Minaj, you tell me stop going on Twitter and stop
I'm just
replying
surprised
to the haters.
Mehdi's in the comments, bro. Mehdi is in the comments.
Unfortunately. I tried
It's
switching
like
off
Jude-
the comments for a while. It was so boring.
Do you know what it's like? It's like the news version of like successful rappers going back to South Central LA. It's like he's trying to show
I'm
he's
just
10
trying to
toes
be-
down in the streets.
I'm trying to be...
He's
I'm
like
trying-
in the comments, keeping it real. Bro, don't do that.
I'm trying to be democratic.
I don't want you to. Yeah, okay, I guess.
Also, I can't resist. You know what I mean?
It's addictive.
I've never been able to resist,
It's
as long as you've
addictive,
known
yeah.
me.
Yeah, you love a debate.
I love a debate. I love the last word. I love the rebuttal.
Yeah. You're good at it. Yeah. Can I
Well,
just say, I haven't seen him in person since this happened. Did anyone see Mehdi doing the debating version of WWE Royal Rumble? Did you see that?
you're talking about Jubilee.
Yes, when he was took on like 16 psychos
It was
at once.
20.
It was like Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon. You know that fight scene from Enter the Dragon where Bruce Lee's like, there's a hall of mirrors and he's just got the nunchucks. It was incredible, man.
Those people were crazy. It's 2.5 hours of my life I will never get back.
Yeah, but it was beautiful, very impressive, and like, bravo, man.
I
You're
mean,
out
it
there
was
doing it.
for you watching. Yeah, for me it was painful.
Yeah.
It was kind of sitting there with one guy after another, going, "I'm a fascist. Get out of my country."
When
Do you remember there was a guy at the beginning?
Which one?
This guy at the beginning, he goes, "I gotta stay calm because everyone knows something happens to me." And he was wearing a green t-shirt. I was like, "You're the Hulk? What are you, Bruce Banner?" He's like, "Something happens to me if I can't stay calm." The Guardian did a story about how he was linked to the Proud Boys and some violent protests, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, good. The vetting was good there."
Worried about
It's very nice for you to talk about my arguing talent, but we're here to talk about your acting talent. You are in Bait and Hamlet right now. Hamlet is out tomorrow. By the time people at home watch this, it's already out, so go watch it. We're recording this on the eve of it coming out. We're here on Thursday night in New York. Just go back to school days. You're acting in the school play. You're winning all these awards. Other people are as well. At that moment, what do you think is going to happen to your acting career? Are you planning out this career? Are you thinking, yeah, I can't wait till I'm in Star Wars. Can't wait till I win that Emmy. What's going through 16-year-old or 15-year-old Riz's head?
No, that's not what's going through my head at all. I did not think that it would be viable for me to have an acting career. And I've felt different versions of that all the way throughout my career, in fact. Because I think there just wasn't a lot of us on screen. You know, there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me on screen. I don't know if anyone else had this in their families, but as soon as a brown person came on the TV, everything would stop in the house. and someone would shout, Asian! And it would be like, everyone would run down. Asian means something different in the US, I know. But, and everyone would run down and be like, oh, well, what's it? Like, yeah, there's somebody who's appeared in a TV ad for like 3 seconds or something. It was a thing, it was an event. There wasn't that representation. When you don't see yourself reflected in that way, how could you imagine that? And yet, I did have, when I kind of got later into my teens and really into my early 20s, I'd met enough people along the way who encouraged me to like just roll the dice, and I gave myself just a couple of years to say like, let me see if I can make something
like a test,
of this.
if I could do this for 2 years.
I said like, if I can book, a couple of jobs a year, and I gave myself up to a certain age to say I have to get to this certain place. Otherwise, because I just thought the whole thing was ridiculous and it was difficult. And it was difficult, and it still is difficult in lots of ways. But I've realized that difficulty and that friction has given it more meaning for me. It has motivated me. It's kind of given each step a greater kind of significance for me and sometimes for others as well.
Well, yeah, you can applause. But what I'm hearing is, the brown man in me is hearing, I gave myself 2 years, and I'm thinking, what were you going to do if it didn't work out? Pharmacy?
No, that's Guz Khan. He was a pharmacist, if you know what I'm trying to say.
What was Riz Ahmed going to be?
I don't know.
You know.
I don't know. I
If
feel
you had
like
a 2-year plan, you knew what we were going to do if the 2 years.
I wasn't sure, man. Do you know what I was interested in, from some kind of like mixture of creative plus psychology. I thought that like advertising was interesting, but I didn't ever think I would go into it. But I grew up in the heyday of like TV ads.
But I love this idea that you would have failed as an actor and then gone to your Desi parents and said, hey, I failed as an actor, I'm going to do advertising now. Like, that's my backup.
I didn't have a backup plan, okay, Mehdi?
You didn't have a professional, Brown-approved backup plan.
Do you know, honestly, what I probably would have done is called you up.
Okay.
I'm not joking. I probably, because when I was leaving school and it was like, it was like time to apply for universities, and some teachers encouraged me to apply for Oxford or Cambridge. My mum said, Mehdi's mum was our GP, was our family doctor on the street. So like, in the same kind of community, right? And so she said like, Dr. Hassan's son went to Oxford, call him. And
you never called me.
And I was like, oh yeah, Mehdi from school. But he's so old. He's so much older than me, Mum. Was he? And she's like, just try and bridge the gap between generations and call him. And so I'm
like Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. So I called up and I had a chat, and I remember that conversation. I really remember it super vividly. I remember.
You actually called me?
Yes, we spoke on the phone. Do you not remember this?
Oh, I thought the story was going to end with that I just didn't call you.
No.
You called me.
That wasn't an important conversation for you?
I mean, I'm old, so the memory's failing.
It's fading,
That's my
isn't
excuse.
It? Yeah.
Once you cross 40, you wouldn't know. It starts to fail. All right, good. So we spoke.
Okay, this is really offensive, but it's fine. I'll let it go. And so yeah, we spoke on the phone. And I literally remember. I remember being at the foot of the stairs in my parents' house, calling you up and saying, "Look, man, like there's this thing. People saying I should apply to Oxford.
Remember.
It's
coming back to me now. No, it's coming
That's
back
why
to
he's not a professional actor. That's the best.
I remember it's
coming
back to me now.
And and you talked me through it and all that, and you encouraged me, and I applied to go to the same college as you, basically because you went there, and you said, listen, there's all these different colleges at Oxford, they all have different vibes. I went to Christchurch, it's the biggest one, and it's right in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it's true.
And I just went,
a good kebab van outside.
So I did that.
You went to Christchurch? I forgot. I couldn't remember which college you went to. I'm old. Look, what I do remember, you know what I have a vivid memory of? I have a vivid memory of you being you were in a TV show where you played a police officer or MI5 agent and your sister was a suicide bomber. What was that called? Brits.
I wasn't the suicide bomber, right?
No. No, that was
so much better. I was the MI5 agent.
You did that in another movie, don't worry. You covered all Muslim bases.
Has anyone here seen Four Lions?
Greatest film, one of the great films of all time.
Do you know what's so interesting is when Chris Morris brought that project to me, I was like, I am gonna get fatwa'd so bad for doing this. People are gonna hate on me. I'm like, I don't want to be. And it's so interesting. It's so many just around the world. It's like so many people, in particularly like in the Muslim diaspora, but also actually all different kinds of people, is their favorite film.
Yeah,
a lot of people
I
like absolutely adore that, and it's so interesting as a kind of like there was this assumption that there would be riots, if it got made, and I think it kind of speaks to the power of comedy, man. Of like you can say the unsayable, and you can go straight to, you can bypass people's prejudices up here and just go to the gut,
So it's so influential. When I moved to the US in 2015, at the height of ISIS, I remember writing a piece about why ISIS is not Islamic. People were like, oh, it's Islamic. You remember there was an Atlantic piece. And one of the things I said was, go watch Four Lions, understand why people become radicalized. It is not to do with theology, right? There are other factors at play when young men come together. And people tried to make fun of me on social media, where I spend a lot of time, and said, oh, a comedy movie, that's your reference. Turns out, I had the last laugh because the US intelligence community was sharing Four Lions, it turns out later. And they were watching it to try and understand radicalization.
There were training programs at the CIA and the FBI where they were screening Four Lions for people.
Because it is actually a very insightful film.
This episode is sponsored by LED. As the Quit GPT movement continues to grow, many of you who still need an AI tool for work or home are in search of a more ethical, more sustainable, more private alternative. And for the first time ever, open source has given us an alternative to the Silicon Valley surveillance machine. We don't have to use Google. We don't have to just use ChatGPT. You don't have to wonder where all of your sensitive AI searches and conversations are going. LED was built on the same encryption used by services like Proton Mail or Signal. No more worrying about who else is reading your AI conversations. Did you know ChatGPT and Claude will store even your incognito and deleted conversations for 30 days? LED gives you access to the power of flagship-grade AI, powered by 100% renewable energy in Finland, all without privileged tech bro surveillance. Visit led.ai/Mehdi, that's ELLYDEE.ai/Mehdi today, or use code Mehdi to get 50% off any yearly subscription. It's free to try, and their mission plan starts at only $5 a month.
And I'm very proud of all your success. You've got this kind of, at this point, moderate success. And then I saw you. No, I'm just at that point in his career. I'm not talking about now. And then
He's got this really weird dial on his wall at home.
No, I'll get to high. You get to high. You get to high. You're at high now. Super high. We'll come to now. But this is, look, I'm an old man. Let me remember what I remember. I remember seeing you in an event in like 2008, 9. I think it was at MYH. You remember Muslim Youth Helpline? It was a charity in the UK. I think we did an event there. And I remember seeing you, and I went over to you. I thought I was so funny. I come over to you and I say, how are you doing, Riz? You're doing so well. And I said, what is it like being Britain's second most famous Asian actor after Dev Patel? And you looked at me. I think your brother was you there, and you looked at me. You did not enjoy that joke at all. But imagine my surprise. 17 years later, I watch Bait, and I come across this clip. Can we play the clip from Bait that I love so much?
Dude!
What?
I know you, mate! I'm a huge fan! Oh. Sits, you're talented.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're an exceptional actor, and I want you to know that.
Thank you, man.
Listen, can I get a little video for my girlfriend, Heather? She's like obsessed with you, dude.
Really?
Yeah. Babe, check it out. Walking down the street, guess what I've been to? Dev Patel.
What?
Dev Patel, just walking down the street.
He's not Dev Patel.
What?
He's not Dev Patel. Look how short he is.
So I really enjoyed that scene in Bait. Because I was like, 17 years later, he did the Dev Patel.
Well, that happens
all the time.
Not
in real life.
Not all the time, but it happens. it does happen. Like I got in a cab, I think in February in London, and I sat in the back of the cab, and there was this cab driver was like, mate, so I don't mean to bother you, but is that you? Yeah. Is that you? You're an actor? Yeah. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, mate, I love your work. I love it. I was like, bro, thank you. It means a lot to me, honestly. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, Lion, Monkey Man, Slumdog Millionaire is amazing. I just went, thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, it's a curse of being one of the few brown men on screen.
Yeah,
I mean, the serious point is there's few of you on screen, so people kind of... I mean, even in the news space, I was speaking to someone recently, said, oh, you're interviewing my uncle. And I said, am I? He said, yeah, he's a priest. And I said, I don't think I am. Yeah, he's on your show next week. I said, I'm pretty sure he's not. And I've left it for about a week, forgot about it. Today I was with Hassan Minhaj doing his podcast, and he goes, I just interviewed this priest. And I was like, oh, it was you! They confused me and Hassan Minhaj, because we have Hassan in our names. Bless. This is a great show. Can we give it up for Bait? For the 3 people here who use their Amazon Prime subscription. Can I just say, I've seen Riz in a lot of things. As I said, I've been watching him for 20 years. The comic timing in this, you are hilarious in this show, can I just say? And I love that you're willing to do self-deprecating humor. A lot of short jokes in this show.
Yeah.
Was that with your approval, encouragement? Did you have to sign a contract?
I guess comedy is just something I love. Like my first ever music release was a comedy rap song called the Post 9/11 Blues. Right? And it had lines in it like post 9/11, watch your back. I farted and got arrested for a chemical attack. You know, it's just this really silly, playful thing. And it ended up getting banned from radio airplay on the BBC. And it was like a whole news thing. It was like Channel 4 News, The Guardian. It was like, you know, this rapper's getting his song banned for it being politically sensitive. It was so interesting. And I thought, wow, this thing, comedy, is so powerful. Because you can say the unsayable, you can reach lots of people, and it's truly subversive. And so I'm a huge fan of comedy. And I think in the UK, you know, the thing for many people, they identify me for, yes, there's Star Wars and all that, and that has a certain prominence, but Four Lions is a special place in people's heart. So I was just really eager to get back to doing comedy. And I think so often, you know, for all of us, we're kind of asked or forced to live in these spaces that can be slightly joyless. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're kind of living on this kind of fault line, and we're front line in these kind of like hot button topics and issues just by dint of our existence in this body and this time and this place. And it's like, where's the joy? Where's the laughter? Where's the kind of, you know, there's something so liberating about that. You know what I mean? And you can deal with the stuff, you can say the thing, but you can do it and enjoy it. And there's something so empowering about that. And I was just really, really eager to get back to doing comedy. And, you know, people who know me know that, you know, I'm just all about the banter. And
there's a lot of banter in this with you and Guz. It's, for those of you who have not seen it, Riz plays an aspiring young actor, Shah Latif, who goes for an audition for James Bond, and then it leaks to the press and people think he's going to be Bond, and it's a lot of chaos. But you said in a recent interview that Bait is not actually about an actor trying to be James Bond. It's actually about the gap between a person's public persona and their actual private life and private personality. And that's something that we all deal with. Just unpack that a bit for us.
Yeah, I think so. I think we all have that, right? Whether you're an actor, someone in the public eye, or whether you just happen to have an Instagram profile, right? Or you're on TikTok or in social, or you have LinkedIn or whatever it is, or you're on Zoom calls. There's the version of you in frame, the version of you that's on camera, that's perceived, the version of yourself that you like to present to the world, and is the kind of chaotic, vulnerable mess that all of us actually are as human beings. And in a world where we're constantly being perceived or asking people to look at us, but not really see us, you know, we all want to be looked at, but we're afraid to be seen. We all have that massive gap between our public and private selves. And somebody said something to me that was interesting, which is like, the gap between your public and private self is the amount of shame that you carry. And I think that there's a real truth in that. And I thought that I wanted to create a subversive comedy within that playground of shame, and in the process, myself lose some shame. You know, if this is a story about an actor, a man who is who has to deal with the unsustainable distance between public and private self, I myself wanted to close that gap. This show is itself me trying to close that gap. And so it was scary. I wanted to like put my self, you know, warts and all, and an exaggerated version of myself. And
yeah,
in many ways, it's not me.
People
but
are going to look at it and say it's not
the,
you, but is it you? And that's going to be.
Well, it's not necessarily me. You know, these characters
Dev
take on their
Patel?
own thing. It's definitely Dev Patel. I think that, you know, these things take on their own life, but there's a lot of things in there that are taken directly from my life. For example, in end of episode 1, my character has a panic attack at Kentish Town Forum in North London, a music venue. That literally happened to me after I got booed off stage supporting Wu-Tang Clan in concert, right? The Wu-Tang Clan were like 2.5 hours late, and they sent me out, and I come out, this like small brown guy, and everyone's like, that's not Method Man. Boo! And I like pulled the track, and I just did like Sour Times, this a cappella track that I have, and they kind of I turned the boos to cheers, and then I bounced. It's like a 2.5 minute set. There's my character gets jumped as a kid in a park in Wembley. We filmed it in the same park
Wow.
in Wembley behind my parents' house. The sweet shop where we go and buy sweets on Eid. That's the same sweet shop we used to go to. And even in episode 5, I mean, spoilers or whatever, really, shame on you if you haven't watched the show yet. So I'm going to spoil the whole thing. What are you doing? Watching Zateo? It's the same thing. He just dismantles people with his expert debating. What you get in... there's this moment in episode 5 where someone tries to recruit me for MI5. That's happened to me as an actor since I've become a prominent actor, from a Muslim prominent actor. Has happened to me 3 times in my professional life. Even that is taken from my personal experience.
Also, there's bits in the show where you're wandering around without a wallet and a phone. And that's happened to you too, right? Where you've gone into a store. I think you've talked about going into stores and not paying for things. Accidentally, obviously.
Well, this is a good example of the distance between your public and private self. So the week, I think roughly the same week they got announced, like I'm in Star Wars, and like people were texting me like, bro, you're killing it, amazing, yeah. Like people assume you're on a yacht with Han Solo at that point, right? The reality is I got banned from Tesco's, the local supermarket, for suspected shoplifting that week. My washing machine had broken down. I didn't have any clean clothes. Sue me, okay? Didn't get on top of my laundry. And so I just had like I was wearing random clothes. I was wearing like a green puffer jacket, like pink, like cycle shorts or whatever, flip-flops. And I was carrying around those huge kind of checkered kind of laundry bags full of dirty clothes. And I'm dragging that around into Tesco's. And it's my brother's birthday. I haven't got him a cake. They're out of cakes. I try and buy him a birthday pizza with candles. It's a random thing to be buying. I forget to beep the thing. They look at it and goes, this guy's a shoplifter. He looks crazy. We start getting into a back and forth. I'm getting frustrated. I'm late for my brother's fake pizza birthday with my dirty clothes and my bag and my insane outfit. And I go, dude, I'm not shoplifting. I'm in Star Wars. And they're like, yeah, you're banned. You're banned. Don't ever come back to Tesco.
Have you been back?
I have not. Long Lane Tesco's, SE1,
I know Long Lane
Bermondsey.
Tesco.
You know that one.
I do know that one.
And so that's a good example of that kind of gap. And the show is grown out of things that take place within that gap, how we want to be seen and who we really are.
So on that note, the show is about an actor who might be cast as the first brown Bond. How realistic is that?
That there'd be a brown James Bond.
Could there be a brown James Bond? Could it be you?
You know, I had the same thought as you. So I decided to drop a very subtle hint.
By making an entire TV
By
show?
making a TV show about an actor auditioning to be James Bond and making it for Amazon MGM. Inception.
Jeff Bezos, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Sneaky.
What is your favourite Bond movie, by the way?
Listen, my favourite Bond thing, my Bond-related thing, is not a movie. It's a video game.
GoldenEye. N64.
Where's the GoldenEye generation?
Yes, GoldenEye.
N64.
Did you use rocket launchers? I was a rocket launchers guy.
Or sometimes you just use slaps.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
GoldenEye was great, but the
slaps,
movie...
only slaps.
You're not a Pierce Brosnan guy, though.
You know, I just think that game was like meant that I loved that game.
You're not really selling yourself for the role here, like the game.
As a Bond fan.
Game.
Well, you know, I really loved Skyfall.
Okay.
I thought that was amazing. I thought Skyfall was an absolute banger.
Like any Daniel Craig movies.
Yeah, was Skyfall the one with Javier Bardem?
Yeah, Javier's fantastic.
Yeah, he was an amazing
Give it up for Javier Bardem, a man who speaks out against genocide.
He does.
Was on Zateo earlier this year. Is a wonderful man.
So that I think that I really love Skyfall as well. Yeah.
So you've done Bait, and now you are in Hamlet. You go from the comedy to doing Shakespeare. This adaptation set in London's elite South Asian community, completely different setting, but it is Shakespeare. You're doing the dialogue, you're doing the role, you're playing the character. To prepare for this, obviously, I watched all of Bait and then I watched Hamlet. You watch those two back to back and you see Riz. It's very different. We can play a bit of the trailer for those of you who've not seen. It's coming out tomorrow. Let's play some of the trailer.
My good Hamlet, we grieved your sickly father while he lived.
Let the world take note. You are the most immediate to our throne.
I pray you stay with us.
Who goes there?
Ophelia.
Oh, my lord.
My father. My uncle is the cause of all this. There is a villain dwelling in our home here.
To hell with allegiance.
To be or not to be.
Woe is me to have seen what I have seen. To see what I have seen.
It's common, my son. All that lives must die.
That is a very different version of the to be or not to be we learned in school. Your interpretation's of it different too, isn't it?
Yeah. So to be or not to be is probably the most famous line of dialogue ever written, right? And even people who don't know or care about Shakespeare will know. To be or not to be. What's the next line? Okay, great.
Do you know?
This is one guy in the corner. That's it.
Do you
great.
know?
Educate yourselves, America. Jesus Christ.
No, for the reference point in America is Jason Statham used that line in The Beekeeper recently also.
There
Just
we
for-
go.
just
There
for
it
action
is.
movie
Yeah,
context.
you got no excuse. And so, people know this speech. It's at the center of kind of like the dramatic canon globally. And yeah, I think that it's been fundamentally misunderstood because people stage it in such a way, and people generally understand it as though it's about suicide. That Hamlet is saying, "Should I kill myself? Should I be or not be?" That's not what he's saying at all. If you just look at the language, very simply, you just literally read it and go, well, where's the verb? Where's the verb that this hinges on? He's literally asking, should we resist? Should we fight back against oppression, even if we risk losing it all? That's literally what he's saying. And somewhere along the line, this thing becomes popular enough, it gets co-opted into the establishment and it's de-radicalized. And actually the question at the heart of Hamlet, the question at the heart of this speech, it's the heart of this play, it's the heart of our dramatic canon, is so confronting that it's kind of almost awkward to say it. When I say it in Q&As, people are like, oh shit. I'm not talking about armed resistance, Shakespeare is. Okay? But that is what he's talking about.
Well, what about...
That's literally what he's talking about.
how do
So
you-
it's like, deal with that. You know, if you're going to celebrate something at the heart of your culture, honor its true meaning. And so we wanted to make a version of Hamlet that is as urgent, adrenalized, confronting, and unflinching as I think the true DNA of this play, and not do this dusty museum exhibit, you know?
Shakespeare was Muslim, right? Classic brown uncle, everyone we claim. Shakespeare. Desi. But let me ask you this. How do you translate that resistance into your own life, your own career, your own art? You were speaking to our good friend Hassan Minhaj recently, and one of the quotes I was watching this jumped out at me. You said, people talk about you've got to be in the room, right? Whether you're in news media, Hollywood, you've got to be in the room. And you said there's no point being in a room if the room just changes you. And I totally agree with that. It's something I struggle with every day. And I'm wondering, has being in the room changed you?
I think this is something that I came to a bit of a realization as well, particularly around, the start of the genocide, in Gaza, and as everything there, it's like, I think we were all kind of confronted with this thing, particularly of my generation. If I back up a little bit, like post 9/11, a lot of us were like, you know what? If we just keep our head down and we smash it, not even necessarily keep our head down like our parents' generation, like, yo, like, don't look at me, they're gonna throw us out. But just kind of like, if you smash the meritocracy, we can change things. There's enough of us in the room. We can turn this ship around. And like, you spent 20 years like trying to push this thing uphill, and as so many of us have. And then something like that happens, you're like, what the hell did any of it do? And you start fetishizing your access. You start thinking your access may be useful, but it's useful for what? If not now, if it does nothing now, if the collective voices of so many people that are in so many rooms, of all backgrounds, in fact, is meaningless, then like, what is that access worth? It's like a carrot at the end of a stick.
Were you nervous speaking out after October 7th? You signed signed the Artist for Ceasefire letter?
Yeah, but I was very nervous. I felt very tense, very stressed. I think that a lot of taboos have been broken in the last couple of years now around that. A lot of silence has been broken, and that's fantastic. But there's that collective action problem where everyone's like, man, I don't want to be the one that goes first. And it's like, and it is scary because there are repercussions. Of course there are repercussions, but being afraid of being blacklisted is kind of funny when you realize, like, you might be singled out and be blacklisted, right? But we're kind of already blacklisted just through unconscious bias. It's like, you ain't gonna get picked to be quarterback anyway, bro. Like, what are you holding out for? Like, build your own team. And
it's
so, I don't know, like...
You mentioned Javier Bardem earlier, and I interviewed him in, I think, January of this year. I can't remember, I lost track of time. But a few months ago, I interviewed him, and we talked about how the new owners of Paramount, CBS, Hollywood, David Ellison, big funder of the IDF, there's rumors that he has a blacklist of actors who have signed any kind of ceasefire. And he kind of laughed it off. He's Javier Bardem, he just laughed it off. But that is there, that tension. A lot of people are worried. The majority of people in Hollywood did not sign ceasefire letters, right? They just kept their heads down. Don't know if you saw the recent Berlin Film Festival where a bunch of actors kept getting asked about Gaza and they kept dodging it. It was Keanu Reeves in The Matrix dodging, right? They were just anything. And Neil Patrick Harris said something that jumped out to me. I'm trying to keep my work inclusive. I've always believed art should be apolitical. What's your response to that?
I think that there is no neutral. I think that when you're silent, then really what you're doing is you're just enabling the kind of dominant current and the dominant narrative to run its course. And that's okay. If that's what you want to do, if you're aligned with that, that's cool. But I kind of think it's interesting because I think the idea of like art being political or not political is a fundamental misunderstanding of what art is, and in particular storytelling is. Because I personally feel like what your role is as a storyteller is to constantly try and widen the scope of what is considered human and who is considered human. That's the job.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you're widening, you're pushing, you are supposed to be taking people out of their experience into places they had not expected to recognize themselves and find themselves in the other. And I think there's something there that's like, I don't know if I'd call it political, it's almost spiritual. It's this idea of insisting on our oneness. You know what I mean? That is what art is. That is what story is. And so like, that's what you're doing. If you're not doing that, you're not doing the job, I think. And now, we just happen to be living in such a crazy time where insisting on universal empathy is weirdly political.
Apparently, suicidal empathy is what the right call it now.
Wow.
That's the phrase that Elon Musk and co use. Wow. By the way, before we're going to take some questions from the audience shortly, but Elon Musk is obsessed with the UK and UK having fallen. The American right believes the UK is now taken over by Muslims.
Yeah.
Right? They look at Sadiq Khan, even though New York has Zoran Mamdani, but something about Sadiq Khan really winds them up. And they literally, people, you've even got Piers Morgan saying, like, telling American guests, I'm from London, it's fine. The country has not been taken over by Islamists. You were ahead of the curve on some of this. You did that amazing award-winning
I started calling this out a long time ago.
You called it, you did The Long Goodbye.
There's too many of them.
You did The Long Goodbye, which is literally a South Asian family celebrating a wedding when white supremacists turn up in this sleepy residential neighborhood. Right. This was what year was that?
I think it was 2020, 2019, 2020, yeah.
Yeah, so this is post-Brexit, but we've gone way past Brexit. For people here in New York and people watching at home, in the UK right now, how bad is it? Because we're in Trump land and we have our own challenges here. But obviously I'm from the UK, I follow what's happening back home. How worried are you about the direction of travel in the UK with reform and Farage and the rise of kind of very similar Trumpy movements in the UK?
It's weird, isn't it? Because yeah, I mean, that short film is something I'm particularly proud of. And if you haven't seen it, I'd encourage you to see it. Not for me, not for my benefit, but because there's something in that at the time, people were like, this is a dystopian fantasy. And yet now, it's the streets of Minneapolis, it's the streets of Delhi, it's all, it's all this stuff. And Anil Karia, who directed that brilliant short film, he also directed Hamlet. So it has that same mixture of like spoken word, like rap poetry mixed with like action thriller thing. It's that combination that he's brought to the screen in Hamlet as well. It's weird. Like, I do feel I'm not newly worried. I think like a lot of us in this room have like, it's not a new feeling. It's just that it's almost like this thing that you always knew could happen, was happening to varying degrees, is happening but was either covert or overt. It's just happening more blatantly and happening in a more widespread way. And it's something ancestral about it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember my parents saying like, you got to keep your head down or else they could throw us out of the country. I scoffed it in, and the UK passed a law saying that we can take your passport.
Yeah.
If we
now they want
decide.
to copy Trump deportation.
Right. And so I guess I don't feel like shocked. I don't feel surprised. I'm not like anxiously worried, is this happening? This is happening. This has been happening for a long time. But in a weird way, because of that, it's like, I'm ready. Like, we're ready. Like, this is what we're here to do.
Well
You
said.
know, we're here to, like, Ta-Nehisi Coates said this thing to me, like, around this whole, everything that was happening, in Gaza and stuff. He was like, you're here for your ancestors, and you're here as an ancestor. And I feel, as much as I feel like concern and, rage and all these things, I feel a clarity of purpose. And that's a very powerful thing. You know what I mean? I think that as things get more and more fucked up, I think more of us are kind of cottoning on to like what it is we're here to do.
Yes.
And it's to insist on our common humanity. We feel that clarity of purpose,
100%. On that very powerful note, if you want to start lining up, we've got a microphone stand, I believe, on that side of the audience. Before we go to the questions, just to get us in a mood for some Q&A, let me do my own Q&A. We do a bit of rapid fire. Riz, you ready?
Oh, God.
A little bit of rapid fire? Here we go. You ready? Yeah. Biryani or nihari?
Nihari.
Shameful answer. Pizza or burger?
Burger.
Hollywood or Bollywood?
Can I tell you?
That's not how you do a rapid fire to buy yourself.
Can I tell you? One of the best Bollywood films I've seen in recent years? Wuthering Heights.
Okay.
That's a straight up Bollywood film, isn't it? You see it?
Have
It's
you
like
ever
a
been-
music video, a bit of night. It's like Devdas.
Have you ever been asked to be in a Bollywood film?
Huh?
Have you ever been asked to be in a Bollywood
I have been asked to be in a couple of Bollywood films, and it didn't work out. But I would definitely like to do one.
Would you take your
without-
shirt off for it?
Huh?
Would you take your shirt off for it?
Would I take my shirt off for it?
Yeah.
It's amazing what they can do with CGI these days. Why not? Just they put Salman Khan's torso on me. It's cool.
To go back to our beginning, okay, acting or rapping?
I'm all about trying to bring it all together now. There's a soundtrack for Bait, and I'm
cop-out,
proud
mate.
to be. Nah, it's
Acting or
not.
rapping?
It's not. I'm not going to choose.
You have to
Stop
choose.
making me choose who I am. Embrace all of me.
New York or London?
London.
Who's funnier, Hassan
New
Minhaj
York
or...
just smells. It physically smells. It actually smells.
Who's funnier, Hassan Minhaj or Rami Youssef?
They're funny in different ways.
This is...
They're funny
I
in
think
different ways. They're funny
we
in
need to
different
switch
ways.
this from We're Not Kidding to Mehdi Unfiltered. I need to do some proper grilling. You're dodging my
They
questions.
are funny in different ways.
Who would you rather play on screen, Superman or Batman?
Can I just say, on that point, on Hassan and Rami, I'm so glad that both those guys exist.
Yes.
And that they're so
When
good
are you...
at what they do.
I don't have this on my list, but when are you running for office? Because that was a wonderful little deflection and playback. Who'd you rather play on screen, Superman or Batman?
Superman or Batman?
If somebody offered you the two roles, you had to pick
Batman's much cooler than Superman.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Who would you rather play, Batman or James Bond?
I'm actually would like to play a villain. I would prefer to play a villain in either of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, is that surprising? They're just so cool. The villains are so much cool. They're so much more fun, and you're not tied down for 3 movies.
Who was the better actor in school, you or me?
I think we all know the answer to that question. Ladies and gentlemen, Mehdi Hassan.
Can I just say, before we go to the Q&A, I'm not saying this as my kids would say to glaze you, but Riz right now, after watching, I watched a lot of Riz recently. I do my homework. I watched all episodes of Bait, followed by Hamlet, back to back. And I can tell you now, I'm not just saying you're the best actor in the UK right now, or the best brown actor. You are the best actor in the world right now, in this moment. You are a talent. No exaggeration on my part. It's undeniable. All right, let's go to the audience. We go here first.
Hi, thank you so much, Mehdi. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hi, Riz. My name's Ala. I'm a British Palestinian, but I live in New York. I actually had to explain to my husband, Omar, who's American, what bait means in the UK and how we use it, because he didn't really get it. I don't think he still gets it, but... and
Stop baiting him up.
Thank you, Omar. Anyway, so we're not sat together. That's weird, sorry. You said something about artists, like, speaking up for Gaza and for Palestine, and I really appreciate that you signed like the Artists for Ceasefire. I did notice you also were posting like humanitarian posts, but I personally was a bit disappointed over the last 2 years in the lack of some of the support from our own actors from from Muslim backgrounds, Arab, like Asian, and it's not you. I'm not, because I just said I appreciate your support, but I'm just wondering. Like, because it was really hurtful for me.
Remember we said question,
sorry,
not
sorry,
speech.
Mehdi, sorry. You know me, sorry.
Okay, question.
But like, why? Like, what? I'm wondering, like, in the conversations you've had, where does that reluctance of speaking up come from? More than humanitarian, you know? Thank you.
What, from other actors or people in a kind of public eye?
Like, from our communities. Like,
Yeah, I
Is
don't
there
know.
like
I
an
mean,
extra
I
pressure
can't
on brown
speak-
people to be like, we can't comment on this?
I think people feel like their position is like tenuous, you know, and people feel like their position is precarious, and they also feel like their voice, like in the grand scheme of things, doesn't shift things maybe. But I also think honestly, there's some people just feel like I don't know anything about this, and I'm like, so maybe there's that. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think say one thing though. I think we should. Yes, it's. I can understand like it's important to grieve like the absence of support from our community, but I personally am glad to have seen how many people have spoken out and how much there is a kind of like a groundswell of support. You know, not just in my industry but across the board. And I feel like. You know, that's been positive overall, is guess what I'll say, you know?
Okay, next question from this side. We'll go back and forth. Yep.
Hey, I'm Durga Srinivasan, a native New Yorker and anti-ICE organizer.
Woo!
I love both of your advice on fighting fascism, especially when it comes to bridging these worlds of fighting for a ceasefire and fighting against this president. Thank you.
Thanks. What was the question?
Advice on fighting fascism and bridging the
My
foreign and the
advice
domestic.
on fighting fascism. Just, I mean, I was gonna say have more babies, but then saying that to a woman, that would feel like weirdly gendered and like patriarchal or something. No, I was making a joke about the Great Replacement. No, I mean, I guess like here's the thing. I think that like fascism is inherently ridiculous. I think it is inherently ridiculous. And I kind of feel like laughing at the ridiculousness and the rigidity of it is actually really empowering. You know what I mean? And like, yes, there's much to fear, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's just silly. They're very silly, you know, fascists. And I'm very interested in like kind of like using humor and coming from that position of like kind of confidence in how we confront it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about my own art. So, yeah.
I mean, humor is obviously a lot of the anti-ICE protests have involved people dressed up in funny outfits chasing ICE agents down the street, which is a good way of mocking these Nazis amongst us. I would just say the main thing, the only advice I can give is don't give up hope, because they want us to feel hopeless, powerless. They want us to feel that it's all pointless and futile. They want us to stay at home. They want us to stay silent. And I have to keep reminding people, there are more of us than there are of them. There are more of us than there are of them. Let's go ahead. Yes, in the best hoodie in the house.
Thank you very much. Hi, Riz, and hi again. My name's Hamza.
His name's Mehdi.
Mehdi. We met earlier.
I forget too all the time.
That's why we met earlier. Yeah, as you do.
I'm playing.
I'm Hamza. I'm a former civil servant and current law student. My question is actually something I've been wanting to ask you since watching Bait, which is about your supposed recruitment by MI5. Now, we know that there are people of color in
this room who are MI5.
Now, bro, the FBI
They're probably
here.
watching you, to be fair. But I mean, generally, we know that they are in the intelligence service. I just wonder, you know, the opposition to that was voiced in Bait by your the character of your ex-girlfriend, who basically said that, you know, the intelligence services are a colonialist institution. We just have to look at kind of the history in Iran to see that, you know, prevent currently in the UK domestically and how that's being used to oppress Muslims, that kind of thing. I wondered, you know, what was your, and I don't want to blow this James Bond gig for you, but what was your gut reaction?
I made the show, bro. It's done. It's not a thing. Yeah. What was my gut reaction to what?
To the intelligence services, and I wonder...
When they reached out?
Yeah.
Well, it's happened 3 different times, and they're all slightly ridiculous, and this is what I mean by it. It's just like inherently comedic. One was when I came back from my first film, Road to Guantanamo. We landed at Luton Airport, celebrating. They took me into a side room, put me in an arm lock, threatened to break my arm, took my phone, were pretending to bash the buttons, accidentally changed the language to Danish, and then kind of like, were like, did you become an actor to further the Muslim struggle? And I was like, this is hilarious. And that was, and then when I finished that, they was like, yeah, okay. Would you like to keep an eye out for us? Because it was really great the way you answered those questions. It was like, no, thank you. Second time was through a family friend. That was a bit like, oh, sugar. That's what's going on there. And the third time was someone senior higher up at the BBC. Yeah. They said,
How do we know
so-and-so who's just left the BBC. You don't know if I'm not a fan.
That's what I was going to say. How do we know you didn't accept any of those
Amazing
3
plant.
invitations?
Imagine. There'd be a sick biopic if I'm actually a Fed. Tell the truth. You know that'll win the Oscars as
We
well,
don't
innit?
know.
They
This
love
is your
a
cover
brown
story.
plant.
You tell
And-
everyone all 3 times they tried to recruit me. You don't mention
great
which of the
cover
3
story.
times you accepted.
Yeah, and so it's through the BBC. But no, I just wasn't like, you know, I'm as an artist, I'm going to try and maintain my independence.
Hold on, you had a family friend who was in MI5.
A family friend.
Bro, I
I'm not
can't even
naming any
I can't even remember the
names,
phone calls
any
we had. What are you talking about? I'd be the worst recruiter.
You've seen the conspiracy theories online.
Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot. All right, let's take next question from here. I'm not denying it.
Hello, I'm Naba Rizvi, and I'm an AI research scientist.
Wow.
I actually had a question for you both about something that you discussed earlier, where you said you were specifically talking about like your different options for your careers, and you said something really interesting. You're like, I only ever thought about like, you know, acting and not like any backup plans. Were there any moments for both of you, like early on in your career, where things seemed super bleak, like you weren't getting a lot of opportunities? And in those moments, what were the things that kept you going and let you know that you're on the right path?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. I think there's always those speed bumps and those challenges, but I kind of look back and usually those moments of like, not hopelessness, but like friction and hitting a wall is kind of like an invitation for me to like reframe my definition of success or how I'm doing things. So I always think that resistance is kind of like, can lead to growth. You know, I end up being grateful for those moments. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. My very first job out of university, I worked for ITV News, which is kind of like NBC News in the UK. And I was kind of like the bottom rung in the office. It was a very kind of very macho climate. And I remember, this is like 2000, very different world now in the media. And I remember like my first week, like one of the news editors kicked a chair across the room. And I was in the chair. And I was like, what am I doing here? Is this really for me? And I stuck with it. Mainly, I wish I had this great Marvel origin story, but I only stuck with it because I didn't know what else to do. I don't think I had any other skills or talents. So it's this, I got to keep going. And I did keep going. And I was not a public figure till 2009. So I spent the first decade of my career just behind the scenes as a researcher, producer. But I always had this lot of things I wanted to say. So to go back to what your question is, I just stuck at it, right? I had perseverance. I kind of played the long game, if you want to call it that. And I was helped by the fact that I did have supportive parents and family who said, you don't have to be a doctor. You can take this path. My sister's a journalist, so both of us disappointed our parents. But that's kind of how I got to where I was. And yes, there were a lot of failures along the way. And, my dad always quotes Oscar Wilde that, experience is the name we give to our mistakes. It's the name we give to being knocked down and getting up again. That is what experience is. So take it in your stride. It's part of life. Let's take gentleman here. Second best hoodie in the house. I hope you have Zateo merch.
Thank you, Mehdi. So my name's Irfan. As being one of the 3 people in the audience who've watched Bait, I can say it's well worth it. It's hilarious, and we binge watched it in one night, so I recommend it for anyone. So my question really is, in some of the interviews you've given, you've said it's almost semi-autobiographical in some of the scenes that you've done. So after Bait, did you get aunties ringing you up going, hey, is this how you really see me and stuff?
I don't give my number to aunties, bro. That's basic.
What about your friends,
You
close
just
friends?
leave out 1 digit. 1 digit
I
missing.
got to do
That's
that. I
it.
make the mistake of
man,
giving
that's
the
the
actual
one.
thing.
No, I didn't have that, to be honest, because I think like people see like it's its own thing and it's a slightly heightened world. But I do think there can be this kind of fear amongst us as storytellers of like drawing from our own lives and like airing dirty laundry and, you know, protecting these things. But I think that when you take the seed of truth, it always grows into its own thing. A story becomes what you want it to be. It's very rare that it's still a one-to-one relationship to like the actual events. If you kind of follow the current of the story, it kind of becomes its own thing in the end. Yeah, until I think you don't get sued.
Okay, lady, we're almost running out of time. So let's go. Questions shorter, answers shorter. We'll get through a few more before Riz has to go.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aisha. I am a high school English teacher, so I'm super excited about Hamlet. I cannot wait. Everything that you say about storytelling is like exactly what the driving impulse of me as a teacher is. Like, you know, to get students to understand other people's stories and to feel empowered to tell their own. That's what I try to do in all of my English classes. I particularly I'm teaching dystopian lit for the 3rd time this year. So it's been a year. It's been a couple of years in teaching dystopian literature. And this year we've talked a lot about fascism and resistance. So my question for Riz is, have you had a particular experience that could illustrate kind of the importance of storytelling as resistance in this moment?
I'm always kind of reminded about how change happens on like sometimes on a very kind of intimate and personal level. And I can't necessarily point to like a big systemic shift that I've seen created, but sometimes you get it like adolescence comes along and then people say, actually, we need to kind of like look at our digital laws and, you know, protect young people. And sometimes you have those moments and that's amazing. But even those moments are usually kind of part of an incremental step-by-step shift. And you know, the change that I see is like in people. Is like when people feel just a bit more seen or when people feel a bit more inspired or emboldened in some way, inch by inch, person by person, I think like that's how change comes about. And I'm a big believer in that as a storyteller, that the change starts kind of in here. You know, if just thinking about my own experience with Hamlet, you know, like having one inspirational English teacher who took me under his wing and said like, you're not on the outside of this thing. This belongs to you. You know, that changed how I saw myself in relation to the culture. And I just want to say thank you for what you do. I'm like just moved to tears at the idea that you're a teacher. That's just a beautiful thing. And you are doing that. You're doing that every day, man. Thank you.
All right, we'll try and get through a couple more questions. Yes, here?
Assalamualaikum. Mehdi and Riz. Just a college student here studying engineering. And definitely appreciate all the work that you're doing from the journalism side and love your rebuttals every single time. And then from Riz, I think just like a question that I have, like watching Sound of Metal, watching Relay, watching all like Bait, you always seem to like choose like the minority side, like whether it's racial minority or like bringing awareness to like disabilities. What draws you to continue going to those roles?
I'm interested in outsiders.
Yeah.
You know, I'm interested in, I think there's something like story is this crazy body swap technology, right? Like, you know, when you're watching The Crown and suddenly you're like, I'm the Queen of England. Why don't people understand how difficult it is to run a kingdom? And it's like, you're just in it and you're just there and you're just like, that's me. And it's this crazy body swap technology, man. And it's like, I'm so excited by the potential of that to bring people out of their experience and find themselves in a place where they never thought they would. You know, when they're like, that person's nothing like me. I've got nothing, and suddenly to be like, I'm them.
Yeah.
You know, that is the alchemy. That is the beauty. That's how we stretch culture. You know, that's how we insist on our oneness and remind it. So I want to take people to that kind of, to the fringes, Do you know what I mean? I want to take them out of their everyday experience. That's what just excites me. I just get a kick out of that, you know?
It's amazing. Well said. Yes.
Hi, I'm an investigative reporter from Pakistan, and my question to Mehdi is, Zateo is one of the very few organizations in the world that is actually reporting on the Middle East like it should be reported on. What was the biggest obstacle that you had come across when you were setting it up, and how did you overcome it?
First of all, Pakistani investigative journalists, give it up for Pakistani investigative journalists. I wanted to say, give it up for Pakistan for bringing peace to the Middle East. But it lasted like 24 hours. I'm not going to say anything more about Pakistani initiatives. We're going to be talking about peace in the Middle East in a few minutes' time in our very next segment.
It's like a classic uncle move, isn't it? Uncle comes in, saves the day.
But doesn't really.
But you turn away and it's like, actually the thing he's lent you is broken.
That's exactly what happened. Okay, let's try and squeeze
use my
in
blender.
Two more, because you got to rush.
Assalamu alaikum, Riz, and nice to see you, Mehdi. I worked in Congress for a while, but my question is more about like our
Can
culture.
I tell people where you worked? Is it a secret? You worked for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Key member of our team. Wonderful member of the community. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My question is completely unrelated. Thank you both so much for what you do for Muslim representation in mainstream media. But a lot of times when I see our people on screen shooting these intimate scenes, I'm like, somewhere there's a desi parent whose phone is getting blown up. And you know, your show touches on this, where your dad is like, oh, I'll be your body double for any of the sex scenes.
Just to be clear, I've never been in any sex scenes on screen. Our careers diverged, as I mentioned at the start. But Riz, all yours.
I'm telling you, there's a love-hate thing with Trump. I'm telling you, there's something going on there.
It's all yours,
There's
Riz. You can answer the question.
Something going on there.
The question is, how
Are
do
you here representing the disapproving aunties?
Basically,
I knew this was. I was worried when she said, I'm an investigative journalist from Pakistan. That's when I started shitting myself. I didn't see this curveball coming, man. Jesus Christ.
We're so close to you getting out. We're like sex scenes.
I just want to know how your real life parents kind of deal with
I
that.
dropped the show after Ramadan, okay? What else do you want from me? That's it.
Okay. Last question here. You got the last question.
Salam, my name is Sophia. I'm a sophomore at NYU. You mentioned that there's no point in being in these rooms that change you. So how do you navigate being in these rooms when you're still building your authority and autonomy?
Great.
Wow. Yeah, I think that there's like, I think it's like we can't fetishize access. I think access is not an end in itself, you know? It's like, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with the position? How are you like bringing other people in? How are you changing the room? I think we just have to kind of remind ourselves of that. And I think like, honestly, like having each other, having support is such a big part of that, right? Because you feel isolated, you feel alone. It's a new natural human instinct to conform to the group. And so if you don't have that camaraderie, if you don't have that support network, it's so easy for the room to change you. But I'm really excited to see things like Zateo being built, where people are building their own rooms, and it's a beautiful thing to see, you know.
Wait, speaking of changing the room, I wrote a screenplay about 3 years ago. Could I give it to you?
You wrote a screenplay.
You gotta,
oh, thank
you.
you.
Send
it to my. Yo, you got it in your hand. You literally, that's a short screenplay,
you gotta
bro.
Admire the hustle. You gotta admire the hustle from the last questioner of the night.
Thanks.
Great. That is our show tonight here in New York. Make sure you subscribe to Zateo wherever you get. Make sure you subscribe to Zateo.com. Make sure you subscribe to We're Not Kidding wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Mehdi Hassan.
I'm Riz Ahmed.
And we were not kidding. Give it up one more time for Riz Ahmed.